Well, the Wisconsin DNR is considering a permit for Grant County as construction there threatens several protected species. American Transmission Company's project started construction in March, and it faced pushback for exactly this reason. So the notice sent yesterday says there are two types of endangered insects and a threatened snail species. These animals were spotted in the vicinity of the project site. The DNR proposing this permit, which would require the company to take certain measures to protect these species and make changes to the current conservation plan and to pay for some of the habitat restoration work to mitigate the project's impact.